Hey guys, welcome back. Today we're doing a Hello Kitty Jason nail art set, and today we're doing acrylic. I did start a little later on the application. This is the second hand, so my client's other hand is already ready with acrylic. So I started off the video on her next hand, and I just wanted to show you guys how I'm doing my acrylic application. Acrylic application is very important to practice because it's gonna avoid from spending much time on filing, either hand filing or e-filing. So I do go for a 2-bead method, but if I have any crooks or anything in the nail, I do get a small wet bead. I add it onto the area, I let it set, and then I just blend to the rest of the nail. So onto the right side of the screen, you'll see Starbucks. I want to talk about how appreciative and grateful we are as nail techs when our clients bring us Starbucks, whether it's just coffee from anywhere, drinks from anywhere, homemade drinks, snacks, gifts, whatever it may be. We are always so grateful and appreciative for those things, and I feel like we don't really tell our clients, because we say, oh, thank you, and we get to nails, but we really do love all these little gifts and keep them coming. We'll always be happy for whatever it is. So this acrylic is from Valentino. Funny story, when we first started on my client, I had asked her and let her know that we were going to do Bad and Bougie. So here we are talking it up, having a good conversation, having a good service, and at the end of our acrylic application, I needed to go in a little bit more. So I went to grab my pot of acrylic, and I noticed that it was a little less emptier. Actually, no, the one that I grabbed, which was the Bad and Bougie, it was fuller. And I had noticed when I was doing nails, the pot was emptier. So I ended up getting Classic Nude instead of Bad and Bougie. So this is actually Classic Nude. Whenever I do have a pot of acrylic that's similar in color, that's left with a little bit of powder, I do mix it in with my Classic Nude because I feel like it is a little sheer and a little like on the yellow side. So I might have mixed in some Glad Nude or something like that made it look a little bit different. But I'm glad that my clients still loved The color, I love the color. It looked really good on her, and it went well with the design. And we're finally over with our acrylic application. Before I e-file, I go in with my hand file. I get the little edges. I smooth in the top. Just so when I go in with my e-drill, it's much easier. I just seal the cuticle, which isn't much work at all. And also you shouldn't have a hard time with that anyways. If you have your acrylic application nicely done, you won't have an issue with drilling and filing, and you won't have to file as much as you would if you don't have your acrylic application down. So, you guys, my phone died, sadly, and I was charging my phone. So, I actually had got my husband's phone and started recording for you guys. And so, by the time that I had started to record the Hello Kitty, I know you guys want to see the Hello Kitty, how I started it, but unfortunately, I didn't get that on video. But you will see how I paint her face and how I added the little Jason effects and draw her little dress and stuff like that. And here I'm just going to show you guys how I do French tip and how I also do my bloody drips. Everybody does them differently. I like the way I do them, of course. And then we also bedazzle it a little bit, which I think that takes the most time. Like, not even my little Hello Kitty drawing took that long as when I was bedazzling the bloody drips. I thought it was super cute that we decided to do a pink one instead of a red, and just to make it a little girly. So I'm not sure if it's just me, or I'm pretty sure this happens with other nail techs as well, but whenever I start on my first French tip, it's always like a warm-up. It takes me the longest to do that first French tip, and then by the time that I'm on the second or third nail, it's just a breeze. But I do feel like I do take the longest on my first French tip every time I start on French tip nail art. If you guys are up until this point in the video and you guys do nails, let me know in the comments if you guys have that same, I guess not issue or problem, because it's not, but I feel like it just happens every time to me. So I wanted to know if it happens to anybody else while doing nails. I think other than the Hello Kitty design, this one was my favorite nail because we did the bedazzle. I've only done it a few other times with the bloody drip and the bedazzling, and I just think it's very cute. But this is how I do my drips. I start off with the daughter. I know you can always start off just with your nail art brush. You just kind of have to like pack on the gel at the tip just to give that wider look at the end, like a drip. But I find it easier when you dot them and then you bring them up and then you fill it in, and of course it just comes out very cute. I did want to go over the thing about going a double layer on your French tips. I remember for the longest, I was stuck on between whether I should or shouldn't do a second coat on my French tip. And a big reason why I would hesitate to go back in and do a second coat was because I already took so long on my French tips at the time, because I'm way faster now. But because I took so long back then, I was always so scared to go in for a second coat because I didn't want to take even longer. But I would say it's all up to you. There are some gel polishes that are way more opaque than sheer. I think opaque is more pigmented, right? So if your gel polish is very pigmented and a solid coat, you wouldn't necessarily have to go in with a second coat. But in the case of when you use white, I feel like you always have to go in with the second coat. It just brightens it up, gives it a nice solid look, even though it looks okay. But I think just go for it, just do it. If you do question yourself whether or not you should add a second coat or go in with the second coat. And the easiest way would be to start off by lining the French tip first and then just fill in the rest. Quickly, don't take too long on it. Just get it done and you'll be just fine. So this is the part that unfortunately I didn't get to record from the beginning, but here I am drawing Hello Kitty's face, and for the Jason look, her eyes, instead of going vertically, like the little black dots, they go horizontally because it's a Jason mask. And then to give it that Jason mask look, we do a little triangle there on top with the red, and then we do like little upside down, I don't know what you call them, I guess triangles as well, but just more skinnier on the sides of her nose, mouth area. And then with like the thinnest dotting tool, I'm going in with the black to add Jason's little dots or holes in the mask. But you need a very tiny dotting tool. Like this is the tiniest one I have, and I think the tiniest one they make, it's like super thin, and you just dot it very lightly. You don't want to make them too close because then the dots will just kind of blend in together. I think I did that on this one or the other one, but if that happens, just wipe it off like I do with your brush to clean it off, and just redo it. It should be fine. Once we're finished with all the little details, you always want to outline Hello Kitty. It just gives her more dimension, and it makes a very big difference for when she's not outlined for some reason. Once we were done with Hello Kitty's little dress, she did have a little patch here on her chest, kind of like a V-cut little dress. So that little white area right there made a big difference and made it look more like a little cutesy dress. I felt like my outline on the Hello Kitty wasn't as dark as it could be, so I went back in really quick just to darken it just a bit, and it made a big difference. I'm telling you, sometimes the smallest little details or changes the entire look. So this is the part that I say that I feel like took the longest. Having to adjust and plot out what size diamonds you want to add onto the nail. It takes some time, and then also of course putting on the glue, adding the little diamonds and moving it around, and just going back and forth from picking up a diamond to adding it. It does take some time, and I just think this takes a lot of patience, which I do have a lot of patience, so it's nice. I love the way it came out, and I couldn't be happier of how cute and sparkly it is. Once I was happy with the entire look, we of course had to end our nail set with a shiny top coat. This is from Koopa, my favorite. And I'm just gonna go in between the diamonds, make sure everything's sealed and covered. You can do that with a nail art brush, makes it easier. That way you don't get gel on top of the diamonds. And then I'm just gonna coat all the nails with a nice even thick layer of a shiny gel top coat. And before you finish, this is a very important step when you do diamonds. You always want to clean them up. You can use some alcohol. Just go in with a little lint-free wipe, just a little pad, and with a little bit of alcohol, clean them up, and they make them nice and shiny, you guys. Just a tip if you guys don't do that already. If you guys are still here with me, I want to thank you guys so much for watching the video. I hope you guys liked it. If you guys learned anything from it or got any tips, great. Before you guys go, I would say leave a like. If you need to comment anything, leave that as well. Make sure you don't forget to subscribe. And I will see you guys on the next video.